Happy Tuesday, television family. We're back for another day of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, which is the show that I host. It is the 20th day of January 2026, and I am Dan Kuntz. Clouds and fog, not low-hanging clouds and fog, not particularly dense, kind of what we did yesterday. We can actually use some of the PTZ cameras. It's 30 degrees. Yesterday's high, 31. Yesterday's low, 29. Probably going to do it again. This high pressure has just been dominating our weather. It just doesn't seem to go anywhere. The center of it moves around a little bit, but that's all it's doing. And until something forces it to go elsewhere, we're stuck with this. We might see some change over the weekend. The air stagnation advisory is supposed to expire at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, we haven't had any bad air. The air was moderate in some locations yesterday, so the air quality hasn't really been too bad because we're not really sucked in where visibility is like half a mile. It's not that bad, but we haven't seen the sun for a while. Go up if you want to see the sun. It's going to be like 40 degrees at Stevens Pass today. Details are coming up. News, yes, sports. Quite a bit of sports to talk about. Of course, everybody is looking forward to Sunday afternoon. Rams and the Seahawks had some pretty sobering news about Zach Charbonnet, one of our running backs. He's done. ACL problem. That was confirmed by Coach Mike McDonald. We'll have that. Talk a little crack in hockey, too. And, of course, it's Tuesday. It's Hockey Talk. You can't see the chair next to me because through the miracle of technology, we've chroma keyed it out of sight. But it's there. Austin Draude will be joining me to do a little Hockey Talk. Talk about Wenatchee Wild, how the weekend went, and what they can expect this weekend. A couple of home games this weekend with Kamloops and Tri-City in town on Friday and Saturday. 2 minutes after the hour, let's do our tour with what we got, and what we got is better visibility than yesterday at this time. That's not bad, all things considered. This is how we started out on Monday, and it never really got any better. Again, the high and the low was a 2-degree difference, 31 for the high, 29 for the low. It'll be something like that today, maybe a late afternoon sunbreak. That's the Leavenworth camera just before you head into the Tumwater. By the way, they're making progress on the Tumwater Canyon rebuild project. We'll have a story on that when we get to the news. It's going to be a while. They have to basically start from scratch in a couple of locations there, and highways is not something you can just build overnight. The Monitor camera, that's a beautiful downtown Monitor. There's the Monitor Hilton, the Monitor Dome. Beautiful view there to the Monitor International Airport. You can see all of that clear as a bell there. It's head on up to Lake Chelan. Union Valley checks in. That's on the north shore of Lake Chelan, so that's Manson on the far right. Chelan is out of your view on the far left. Things are nice and quiet up in Chelan. Chelan's a great place to visit. Of course, they had the big festival over the weekend, the Fire and Ice Festival. I used to go to that. It's pretty cool. I've always enjoyed it. So Chelan is not just a Memorial Day to Labor Day kind of destination now. They've branched out, and they want people to come to Chelan all the time. And it turns out people do. The air stagnation advisory continues, as I mentioned already, and of course it's Tuesday. We check in with our friends at the Climate Prediction Center for the long-term forecast. This is this Sunday all the way to Thursday of next week. On your left, as you can see, we're leaning at slightly above temperatures for almost all of the West Coast, all the way down to the New Mexico area. It's looking like we're going to see above normal temperatures for everybody on the West Coast. And for the Pacific Northwest, slightly above normal precipitation. At least that's the odds. Again, this starts Sunday into Thursday. The National Weather Service says there is the potential of things changing by Saturday, Sunday, or Monday when that high-pressure dome that's been dominating our weather with the low clouds and the stagnant air and the sunshine up above, that should be out of here, they tell us, by the weekend. Not too soon enough for me. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee. It's where comfort, care, and community come together. We're going to call it partly cloudy skies. We were expecting some sun breaks yesterday. Never quite developed. We were just kind of teased with that. 37 our forecast high. 25 for the overnight low tonight. 35 with sunshine perhaps Wednesday. Again, there is some instability in the upper atmosphere that mixes the clouds around, but it's not strong enough winds to scour out the skies, which is why we have the air stagnation. We have the cold air trapped at the surface and the warmer air up above, and that pattern pretty much is going to be what we're going to be dealing with through the rest of the week. It looks like by the time we get to Sunday, we may actually see that ridge of high pressure finally get the heck on out of here. and I'm all for that. I mean, this is typical January weather. We're used to it, but you know, after a while, I wouldn't mind seeing the sun. Can't remember what it looks like. Going to take a break, and when we come back, the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Pretty gray out there. We are at 30 degrees, not much warmer. Hoping for some late afternoon sun breaks. We shall see, but until this ridge of high pressure decides to go away, we're going to be stuck with this stuff for a while. It's just about 8 minutes after the hour, and a friend of mine is dead, and a fellow driver charged with DUI and vehicular homicide. This is after two pickup trucks collided head-on on Sunday afternoon northeast of George. The Washington State Patrol says 53-year-old Alejandro Cartagena was pronounced dead at the scene on Highway 283 about 7 miles outside of George. The crash happened about 5:45 on Sunday afternoon when 39-year-old Geraldo Silva Diaz of Quincy allegedly veered across the center line while traveling south. He survived the crash and was taken to Quincy Valley Hospital for treatment. Troopers say there's evidence Silva Diaz was driving under the influence. Douglas County authorities say they've now located and charged all three men suspected of a November 29th home invasion and assault in East Wenatchee. 20-year-old Christian Adame Ibarra was the first one apprehended. He's accused of forcing his way into a home with two accomplices and aiming a handgun at a victim. One of the intruders also pushed a 90-year-old to the ground during the incident. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies identified 19-year-old Enrique Torres of East Wenatchee and 21-year-old Jordan Ponce as the two other men involved in that case. Both were charged in December with complicity to burglary and assault. Police say the case was a domestic violence incident, with Adame seeking to confront his former girlfriend and her current partner. He faces trial next month in Douglas County Court on assault and burglary charges. Well, after a month of repairs, construction crews have made progress in the Tumwater Canyon. That particular stretch of Highway 2, of course, got some significant damage after the big windstorms and the atmospheric river back on December 10th and 11th. It eroded the riverbanks to the point where it caused full and partial washouts. Jacob Cunnington is the department's transportation engineer, and he says construction is focused on rebuilding the road from the ground up. at the most severely damaged areas in Tumwater Canyon. That means excavating all the way down to the river, placing 6 to 8 foot boulders at the base of the slope, and then rebuilding the foundation layer by layer before the road can actually be put back in. During a tour of Tumwater Canyon on Thursday, we had a chance to speak to Cunnington and project engineer Miguel Castillo about the next steps in the repairs.
This damage was caused by water capacity coming through the river. That atmospheric river that we had really added a lot of volume to the river, which eroded away the banks.
I mean, it was a perfect storm. I mean, we had a lot of water. We had the water level rise up on us, and like Jake was saying, is that the conditions were perfect for this event. I mean, when that water level reached the height that it got behind the rocks that were down below and started to migrate towards the road where you have a lot looser material, that's when it started to happen. That's where that smaller material just floated down the river and didn't give anything for the road vertically to stand, and then horizontally the river just kept chewing into the road, and that's why you see behind us that's why it's so chewed into the hillside here.
So there's been some minor additions to the slides that happened initially, but for the most part the conditions have remained the same. So there is some risk of avalanche. We've had some pretty warm weather, but right now the big concern is the freeze-thaw cycle loosening up some of the existing rocks in the slopes here.
And then the next piece will be the snow. The more snow we get, then because we are in active avalanche chutes, so that'll be another thing we'll have to look at or be aware of while we're working.
So on large slides like this one, the process is to dig down to the water so that we can slowly build up layer by layer with large boulders. We've completed that to get outside of the high water mark, and now the next phase of the project is building up structure to the roadway level. Yeah, that timeline's still accurate. Our contractor's working really hard and they're moving really fast. I'm hopeful that we can get it done before then, but that timeline is still our mark.
And that's why you see that large piece of equipment there, just to move more material. We bring it in with the smaller trucks and we place it somewhere we can put it in that truck there and move a lot. That can keep up with several trucks transporting material into the site.
So what we're doing here is a lot more robust than anything we've had before. So we're hopeful that it will stay a lot longer. But we are building the roadway back as it was, just reinforcing our structure below. Hopefully they shouldn't notice too much. If you have a keen eye, you'll be able to see some new rock slopes with some of our geotechnical additions. But to the roadway itself, there shouldn't be any difference.
Douglas County is catching up to its neighbor Chelan County when it comes to collecting household hazardous waste. The Zacher Processing Center is on Batterman Road just outside of East Wenatchee. It's set to fully open come mid-February. It's operating right now with limited hours. East Wenatchee officials got a tour of the center earlier this month. The facility can accept materials that aren't normally approved for curbside disposal, like fluorescent bulbs, medical sharps, and paint, as well as recyclable goods like aluminum, tin, and cardboard. Chelan County, of course, has operated its own household hazardous waste drop-off location since 2019. The Chelan Public Library's Reimagining Spaces project has temporarily halted. Construction crews found water damage in the almost 100-year-old building. NCW Library says it's working with the city of Chelan to assess the issue and move forward with a plan that protects the historic structure on North Emerson in Chelan. The Chelan Library is continuing to offer limited open hours during the pause in its remodeling. They're going to have a pop-up library on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and library access hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The Reimagining Spaces project is a $10 million project to redesign all 29 locations within the NCW Library system. The Chelan Library was closed in October to begin its interior refresh which will include new paint, updated shelving, new furniture, and more. And all 5 individuals and organizations nominated for Uplift Awards this year were honored during the Martin Luther King Jr. Multicultural Fest on Saturday. The awards recognized individuals, groups, or organizations in our area that protect civil rights, promote social justice, or advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. The ceremony is held annually at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. City Parks Director Big Wave Dave Erickson, my good friend, former Wenatchee School District Board member Martin Barron, civil rights investigator Wilma Cartagena, and others were among the individual recipients for their work over the past year. The 2 awarded organizations, Hand in Hand Immigration Services and NCW Libraries. And a splendid time was had by all. That's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. If you want to stay informed of what's going on around here, you can watch the news. It's ready for you right around 5 o'clock. Well, it'll be on TV at 5 o'clock, whether you're ready or not. If that doesn't work, it's on at 6 o'clock. If that doesn't work, it's on at 10 o'clock. Or you can just point and click and watch it whenever you want to. Right around 5 o'clock is when the news will be up and running on our YouTube page. Don't forget, we stream 24/7 on our website. We're on Roku. We're on Amazon Fire Stick. We're on Apple TV Plus, and if you have a news tip, we'd love to hear from you. Our email address is news@ncwlife.com, and people know how to use it. When we come back, sports, quite a bit of it. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
Sports at 18 minutes after the hour. The remarkable story of the Indiana Hoosiers came to a climax last night with the national championship. They defeat the Miami Hurricanes. The final was 27-21. Miami never led in the game, but they made it close. Indiana wins the national championship, just like I predicted back in September. By the way, Indiana becomes the first college football team to go 16-0 since my alma mater, Yale University, did that back in the 1800s. Congratulations to the Hoosiers. Who'd have thunk? Well, Seattle Kraken tied Pittsburgh early in the second period, and then Brett Kulak broke the tie with his first goal of the season. Brett Kulak plays for Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, the Penguins beat the Kraken 6-3 yesterday afternoon. The Kraken have now lost 4 straight and 6 of 7.
Winterton, long stretch pass, has him in. Pulverton walks in, shoots, save made by Skinner as he walked in all alone. Chinakhov on the boards, dumped down low. Kindle plays it behind the net. 18 years old. Wotherspoon, his shot, score! Wotherspoon from the blue line. Parker Wotherspoon, a Shot that found the top corner through some traffic and a power play goal. It's 1-0. Seattle on the power play 9th in the NHL. 23%, a little worse at home. Number 12, and now the puck is stolen, and back the other way comes Connor Dewar. Dewar breakaway, shorthanded score! Kulak let that one go, slapped down in front. Ryan Lindgren for Seattle. Off the skate of Myers, he'll turn and send it in. Off the wall, handled by Stuart Skinner. 4-1 his last 5 games. Here's Myers in front, score! Ben Myers got it! 2-1. Seattle's on the board. Myers will get to it, captain for Seattle. Dished it over now to Riker Evans. In front, opportunity. Here's a chance, they score! We're tied at 2. Like the MySpace. Or space, whatever you call it. Oh my goodness, they score from the blue line. A shot by Kulak. Wrist shot. The cord didn't move, so he must have been screened, and it's a 3-2 hockey game. Pittsburgh with the lead back. Capo Caco swings it over. Clifton now will retrieve behind his net. Pressure by Shane Wright, got by that easily and gets it ahead now. Mantha, center ice, lumbers ahead, dropped it off, wrist shot, score! Brazeau got it. It's a 2-goal game again, 4-2 Pittsburgh.
Not even an opportunity for the rebound.
On tour with a shot, ripped it wide. Capo Caco trying to get to the front of the net and get a piece of that one. Benham on tour again. One-timer, score! Ellie Tolvanen got it! Traffic in front, power play goal for Seattle, right back in, and it's a 1-goal game. Rust will clear. Raquel gets by Dunn, plays it inside the Seattle zone. Dunn bumps his man behind the net, but is taken back away by Crosby, and it rolls into the net, and they score!
What a pass by Crosby. What a play from below the goal line.
Matty Beniers in the corner now for Seattle. Plays it behind the goal to Eberle off his stick. Bouncing puck to the corner, and here's an empty net, and Dewar is going to get his 2nd goal of the night. Winterden behind the net. He had a multi-point game for Seattle. And the losing effort as Gaudreau carries in, and that'll do it. Final score, Pittsburgh 6, Seattle 3.
As you might imagine, the locker room was a pretty depressed place. Coach Lane Lambert lamented that the Kraken made simply too many mistakes.
Obviously, gave up, the first goal. We gave up a shorthanded goal for the 3rd straight game. So, when you're doing that, it becomes a little bit difficult to get a good start. I thought our 4th line did a really good job to get us back in and get some momentum going. It was a good play by Schwartz to Ben Myers, and then, we tied it up in the 2nd period. But what's happening right now is we're making mistakes that, are going in the back of our net, and we've got to correct those mistakes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was pretty back and forth. Obviously, we can't start like that. We get down too early. Then you're just fighting to get back into it, which we were able to, but we just got to have a better start than that. We got to defend better. So yeah, it was back and forth for the most part, but we got to definitely be better.
Yeah, it was a weird one. I didn't even think we played bad. There's obviously some good parts, bad parts, but I just think, we got to find ways to win. Now more than ever, it's beginning to be that time, and I know we'll get on the right track, but it's going to have to start soon.
Kraken will host the Islanders tomorrow on TNT and True TV. I don't have True TV. I don't know anybody who does. Well, it's official. Seahawks coach Mike McDonald, pretty bad news for the Seahawks. Running back Zach Charbonneau is out for the rest of the season. He's got an ACL injury.
Yeah, it's really it's just pretty sure it's ACL, Maybe we're figuring out what kind of the extent of the injury is, and we'll, get all the details on when he's going to get it fixed and all that. But, you just feel for the guy, for the person. Just this guy's just a absolute stud. So, but he's around and he's in good spirits, and we got his back.
Defensive lineman Leonard Williams and Coach Mike McDonald talked about something kind of cool. The offensive line and the defensive line trade notes to help each other out.
I got to give a shout out to the rookie, Gray Zabel, actually.
I mean, he's a smart kid. Since camp, since OTAs, we've been going back and forth, communicating, giving each other tips on what works, what doesn't work. And sometimes it's good to get insight from a guy on the other side of the ball. And he said to me at one point that, he can tell I was getting the center slide into me a lot. And he's like, hey, why are you taking that inside move when the slide is coming to you? You should just try to burn the B gap. So that whole drive, I was just taking off, trying to burn the B gap, and it worked.
It's an awesome story. I mean, I just heard about it this morning, and what a great microcosm of what I feel like our team has gotten to this point. It's really symbolic of that those relationships that we've built. And then, like I said this morning, for Leo to be like have the humility to actually to seek out that type of advice and realize and take it from a rookie, kind of just initially to the kind of the like layman's perspective, it's like, why would he do that? But you kind of start to dig in and you realize that those guys have been working together for a long time, and they've developed a cool relationship. So I think it's really, really, really cool.
Seahawks and Rams, of course, Sunday, 3:30 on Fox. All right, high school, the prep girls basketball schedule looks something like this, and there's a lot of prep girls basketball out there. Things start at 5:45 with Cleveland and Cashmere, wraps up at 6 o'clock with Soap Lake at Highland, and a whole bunch of games in between, most of them the smaller schools, and almost all of them league play. Prep boys basketball schedule, just like the girls schedule, only just a little bit later on in the day. That's how it works. That way they can share the bus, taxpayer dollars. Bowling schedule, they don't take a bus, they take a van. And they'll be taking a van, Wenatchee will down to Yakima. They'll take on Sela at Minda Lanes. Earlier in the day, Davis will be traveling to Eastmont Lanes to take on the Eastmont Wildcats, and Sunnyside will be at Moses Lake to roll at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The Wenatchee Wild schedule for the weekend looks something like this. A couple of home games. They got Kamloops in town Friday at 7 o'clock, and then Saturday the Tri-City Americans in town at 6 o'clock, and we will have Austin Draude on the show in the back half of the program. And we got basketball on Friday night. Looking forward to that. The Davis Pirates will be at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium to take on the Wenatchee Panthers. We'll have it for you on our Facebook page, streaming on our YouTube page. The girls will get going at 5:30, and the boys at 7 o'clock. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. There are 7 obscure holidays you can commemorate today. It's International Day of Acceptance, National Coffee Break Day, Take a Walk Outside Day, National Butter Crunch Day, National Disc Jockey Day. I used to be one of those. We don't call them anymore. We're now on-air personalities. I don't know why. It's National Cheese Lovers Day, but no, today it is Penguin Awareness Day, and I'm very much aware that there are penguins. There's the penguin. All 17 species of penguins, there are 17 of them. Ooh, cool. They are found exclusively. They can only be found in the southern hemisphere. The emperor penguins, they are the biggest ones. They stand about 4 feet tall. The little blue penguin is the smallest of the 17 species. It's only about 16 inches tall. The colors of the penguin is by design. It's camouflage. From above, the back is black, and that means they can hide themselves from the murky depths of the ocean. And from below, its white belly is hidden against the bright surface. And unlike most birds who lose feathers and get feathers a little bit at a time, penguins molt all at once. They spend about 3 weeks completely land-bound as they get rid of their feathers and grow new feathers. Many penguins will mate for life with the same other penguin for their entire lives. In some species, it's the male who's in charge of, once the egg is laid, it's the male who lays on top of the egg and keeps it warm, and the female goes out and does all the hunting. And because their natural predators are in the water and not on land, penguins have no natural fear of humans. You can walk right up to them. Today we celebrate Penguin Day. Today is 29 minutes after the hour. January 20th is Inauguration Day. Before this date, in 1937, the presidents were inaugurated on March 4th. That changed on this date in 1937 when FDR was sworn in for his second term. The first time the presidential inauguration was moved from March 4th to January 20th. The 20th Amendment changed that. They figured it was way too long between November and March, so they made it a lot shorter. This was also the first time that the vice president took his oath of office during the same ceremony as the president. That didn't happen before that, 1937. The vice president took his oath of office in the Senate chamber in a private ceremony. On this date in 1941, FDR sworn in for a third term as president. The outgoing vice president, John Nance Gardner, administered the oath of office to the incoming vice president, Henry A. Wallace. They used to do that back in the day. On this date in 1945, FDR sworn in for his fourth term as president. His inaugural address was the shortest in history. Basically, he said, we got a war going on. Let's get back to work. It was held at the White House and not at the Capitol. There was no parade. There was no balls. There were no festivities. I mean, there was a war going on. And this was also the last time that the outgoing vice president swore in the new vice president. It hasn't been done since. Harry Truman was sworn in on this date in 1949 after winning a full four-year term of his own in November of 1948. Also coming back after a long absence, the official inaugural ball. The last inaugural ball was in 1909 for William Howard Taft. Then they didn't do it at all until 1949. And my favorite story about the 1949 presidential inauguration was the Republicans were so convinced that Thomas E. Dewey was going to win the presidency in November of 1948, and they decided to spend a bunch of money for a big, huge presidential inauguration ceremonies for President Dewey. And unfortunately, there was no President Dewey for the Republicans. It was Harry Truman, the Democrat, who got all that largeness thanks to the Republicans. That was in 1949. Ike got the gig on this date. In 1953, he becomes the first president to begin his presidential term on January 20th. That was on this date in 1953. 65 years ago today, January 20th, 1961, JFK is inaugurated as the 35th President of the United States, the second youngest man to take the office, and of course the first Catholic. We've only had two, himself and Joe Biden. 8 First Ladies were there, 8. Edith Galt Wilson, Eleanor Roosevelt, Bess Truman, Mamie Eisenhower, and Jackie Kennedy, the 5 First Ladies, and 3 future First Ladies in Lady Bird Johnson, Pat Nixon, and Betty Ford. They were all there when JFK got the gig. Lyndon Johnson sworn in on this date in 1965 after winning a full 4-year term as the president in November previous to that. Lady Bird Johnson founded the tradition that continues to this day as the First Lady holds the Bible for her husband to be sworn in on. That first happened on this date, 1965. It's happened ever since. Jimmy Carter was sworn in on this date 49 years ago today, the 39th President of the United States. The last inauguration ceremony to take place on the east portico of the Capitol building. 40 years later, when Donald Trump was sworn in, Jimmy Carter went and became the first president to mark the 40th anniversary of his inauguration. 45 years ago, Ronald Reagan sworn in as the 40th President of the United States on the west portico, the larger portico that faces the Washington Monument. This was the first of those. They've been held there, weather permitting, ever since Ronald Reagan got the gig on this date in 1981. Barack Obama inaugurated as the 44th President of the United States on this date. Can you believe it's been 17 years? It has been 17 years. Barack Obama inaugurated on January 20th, 2009. January 20th, 2017, Donald J. Trump sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. He had to use 2 Bibles, his own personal Bible and the Lincoln Bible, one on top of the other. That was 9 years ago today. And 5 years ago today, Joe Biden sworn in as the President of the United States at 78, the oldest president ever inaugurated. Kamala Harris becomes the first female vice president, and Donald Trump becomes the first incoming president, outgoing president, the first president leaving office who didn't bother to show up to the inauguration ceremonies. That was 5 years ago. Super Bowls, here we go. 2 of them on this date. Super Bowl XIV, that would be Super Bowl 14. Steelers beat the Rams. They become the first team to win 4 Super Bowls. Attendance at the Rose Bowl, 103,985. It's still the highest attended Super Bowl of all time. This was the first Super Bowl to be played in the market of one of the teams. The Rose Bowl in Pasadena, only about 10 miles from Los Angeles. Halftime entertainment of Super Bowl 14, Up with People. And Super Bowl XIX was held on this date in 1985. We might know that as Super Bowl 19. 49ers beat the Dolphins at Stanford Stadium. The only time they hosted the Super Bowl, the final there was 38-16. Ronald Reagan flipped the coin. He was inaugurated for a second term earlier that day. Let's do some birthdays. One heavenly birthdays. DeForest Kelley, yes, Bones McCoy. On Star Trek, he was in a lot of television shows. Mostly he played the bad guy, but he got to play the good guy in Star Trek, in the films as well. DeForest Kelley, born in the state in 1920. Buzz Aldrin is 96 years old today, the second man on the moon, 19 minutes after Neil Armstrong stepped off the ladder. Buzz Aldrin joined him, and Buzz Aldrin is an elder in the Presbyterian Church, and he is the first and only person to hold a religious ceremony on the moon. And happy 60th to Rainn Wilson, who has ties right here to the Wenatchee Valley in the Pacific Northwest. Rainn Wilson, Dwight Schrute on The Office, is 60 years old today. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors, and they're a platinum organization. Or we can't say platinum sponsors. Thanks, Alpine Air, for being on board. Going to take a break. Mike Benatti's got an opinion coming up, and then it's hockey talk because it's Tuesday. Austin Draude live in studio when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support. When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I guess it's ironic to say our great leader's attack on free speech leaves me speechless. Well, not quite. And no, do not tell me this isn't what's happening. If that man's ego and deluded self-perception is so weak and fragile that he has to bully into silence people who poke legitimate fun at him and then be gleeful about it, what does this say about our country? And that there are many who accept and approve of that man's violation of our constitutional rights to free speech. That's even worse. What is happening to us? Is this America, people? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Since 1979, we put aside a little time on Tuesdays to do a little hockey talk with the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild Austin Draude. Good to see you, my friend. Good to
see you.
1 step forward, 2 steps back. That seems to be our pattern. This has been going on for about 4 or 5 weekends now. We play 3 games in 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Can't seem to put more than 2 victories together on a weekend, and that's what happened over the weekend.
Yeah, it's been a grind of a schedule for these guys. They played 6 and 9 coming out of the holiday break, and then a couple of back-to-back 3 and 3s here. So I think having a normal Friday, Saturday weekend comes at a good time for these guys. But they've played hard. It's just been a matter of getting points when we need them. That's been the battle right now. But 7 points out of a playoff spot, they're right there. If these guys can string together 3, 4, 5 wins in a row, this group is right there for a playoff pickings.
We've talked about this before. It's in the Western Conference. It's Everett, and then Penticton, and then basically everybody else. Mm-hmm. I mean, a playoff run is not out of the realm of possibilities. But the bottom line is we're kind of running out of games now.
We're starting to get to we're now 2/3 of the way through the season, so we've got a little over 20 games left, and it's not a long run to make. But like you said, the runway is not very long. So if this group gets hot at any point, I think they've got what it takes to get in. But it's going to take a hot stretch, 3, 4, 5 wins in a row, I think, in order for these guys to get into the playoffs, or a nice long string of, okay, we win a couple, we drop one. We win a couple, maybe we pick up a point, and then we win a couple more. But it's going to take a sustained run of success of some kind for these guys to make that climb. 3 points out of 6 on a weekend. Moving forward from here, probably not going to get it done.
Is the schedule front loaded or back loaded, I should say, where we play a lot of Western Conference teams towards the end, and we don't really see folks from the other conference much anymore?
We'll get a few more games against the Eastern Conference. We've got Brandon coming up in a week from tomorrow, and then we play a couple of games against the remaining teams from Alberta. But yeah, time is winding down on the Eastern Conference teams. We're going to see mostly the BC division and the U.S. division moving forward.
So we can play and beat Kelowna and Kamloops and Tri-City and Spokane, these teams that are ahead of us. This is where we get our chance to make our move because we're playing within our own conference.
This is where we get a chance to make our move because basically the points count double now. Not only are you picking up a couple points, but you're costing a couple points to the teams that you're trying to chase.
Recap the weekend. Sunday, we took a 2-goals-to-none lead at home against Seattle, and Seattle came back, tied it, and went to a shootout, and the Thunderbirds knocked off the Wild. That was Sunday. On Saturday in Kamloops, 3-0 there. Not going to talk about that. So let's go straight to Friday. I wish we'd saved some of those 9 goals for later. Austin, take it, my friend.
No kidding. 9 goals in this one, and for Wenatchee, it starts early. A feed right to the front, and Aiden Grosskloss finds Matthias Silliban to rattle that one home and make it a 1-0 game, barely 5 minutes into the contest against a goaltender that went to World Juniors just a few weeks ago. Then we turn our attention to Lucas Sherbina, who got the attention of the defense and forced a penalty shot. Foreshadowing, boom. 2-0 Wenatchee. Would we include it in the highlight if it was just an ordinary save by Andrei Stebatek? Probably not. That's why it's there, and the Wild lead by a couple. Another opportunity to pick up goals, and Wenatchee, nearing the end of the first period, they're going to get it right out front, hammering it home. It's Grady Wedman, Gabriel Gilbeau, his Wenatchee debut. This one off the end boards, and a perfectly clean bounce as it comes out front. Zane Saab, not quite there, maybe a little too early, but there's a gate waiting for Grady Wedman. And he lands that one in the back of the net to make it 3-1. 3-2, Portland has scored again. Wenatchee on the rush, on the kill. This time it's Zane Saab taking care of business. And Aiden Grosskloss on the other side to help him out. Grosskloss had 5 points in the game, 4 assists. That one just a little scrape into the net, and it's 4-2. We move ahead to when it's 4-3. I lied, it's 5-3. Because Zane Torrey, right off the draw, pitches it to the net. Everybody else still getting set up, and that is where the floodgates opened and the dam
just lost track of him, didn't they? He snuck in there.
He snuck in there, and so did Daniel Viant, a snipe from the right wing circle. His first Western Hockey League goal just minutes later, and the floodgates are open. There is no dam there anymore. It has broken. It's 6-3, and the flood keeps on coming. Across to the right point, and this time it's Levi Benson. His first goal at home with the Wild. It's 7-3, and that one comes on the power play. Did you notice we're only halfway through the game? Can the Wild keep up this pressure? Can they keep up this pace? Can they break the franchise record of 10 goals in a WHL game?
Almost.
Almost, but not quite. Wild headed the other way. And it's 8-3. This time Cruz Chase is in the net for Portland. Doesn't matter. The Wild punch one in on him.
Only only in the second period.
Still only in the second period. We haven't gotten to the media timeout yet in the second period. We go to the third period, and it's 8-4. Riley Basson, by the way, has had a goal disallowed for a juggle at the net with a high stick. But Darian Rolsing scrapes that one to the front of the net and pushes it home to make it 9-4 with 3 minutes left in the game. There is still time, but I don't think Wenatchee is going to get there. And now you see me, which means we're at 9-4, the final score. But
the only member of the Wenatchee Wild organization that didn't score a point on Friday was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
true, though.
Yeah. How does a coach handle a game that's essentially been decided after 2 periods? Any significant changes there? Let's get some other players some more ice time, change up the lines, or is it let's just keep going?
I think it's you'll see more from the guys on the third and fourth lines, and the guys at the top of the lineup will probably play a little bit less. So you're still going to roll 4 lines. Everybody still needs the rest time in between the shifts, but I think you'll see a little less from the top lines, and even that fourth line. I mean, you talk about guys like Alex Andre, Grady Wedman, who's scored some nice goals for us lately. Zane Torrey has been in the lineup in that fourth line. He's out of the lineup with some injuries now, but Aiden Grosskloss has stepped in there and really anchored that line with those guys, and I think has played well with them. That fourth line has been rolling pretty well as well. So this group, on a good night, is rolling 4 lines right now. But I think on a night like that, you'll see more of that fourth line rather than your top end guys.
And everybody wants to skate. Everybody wants ice time. Everybody likes sitting on the bench.
Everybody wants ice time, but even in a game that's out of hand, you can't pull an entire line off the ice and just pat them on the back and tell them, "Good game, guys. We'll see you tomorrow." You're going to need rest time in between shifts, and when there aren't any guys left on the bench, there is no rest time. So everybody needs to play. Some guys are going to get that shift a little less often than others.
You mentioned Mr. Gilbeau scored his first goal with the Wenatchee Wild on Friday night. He's a new acquisition. We brought him in late last week. There he is right there. We stole him was stolen from Kelowna. Talk about this guy.
Yeah, so Gabriel picked up his first assist on Grady Wedman's goal, had that nice long carom off the boards that got right to Grady on the doorstep there, but had some injuries with Kelowna, had a jaw injury. About 7 or 8 weeks ago, he was out of the lineup up there, and as the trade deadline passed, the rosters always shift, and I think there wasn't quite the spot for him that there had been at the beginning of his injury break, so they let him go. They released him, and a few days later he was available. We needed some help on the defensive end with the injuries that we've had to Chapos and a couple of other guys. So we picked him up, and he's jumped in right away. He's played in this rink before, not just with Kelowna, where he played a little under a season, but he played for Penticton in the BCHL, our last year in the league. So he's played a couple games in this building, plus they played us in the playoffs. So he knows this building, I think, better than people think he does, and he's fit in pretty nicely with these guys. Plus, he was a teammate of Levi Benson when they were playing in Kelowna earlier in the season.
So he's no stranger to us.
He's no stranger to us. I think the chemistry's been good to start. He's starting to get a feel for the way this group plays the game under Don, and he's going to be a good fit for us right out of the chute.
We're pretty banged up, as you already mentioned. We only have 2 games this weekend. They're both at home. That's good. So a little adjustment to the practice schedule this week from Coach Don. They only have 2 games Friday and Saturday. They're both at home. We're banged up. And as you said, we've been playing a lot of hockey. So a slightly less aggressive schedule this week?
Yeah, lately the guys have been practicing only a couple times during the week. They get Monday off when there's a Sunday game. But a lot of times we haven't seen the guys on the ice for Tuesday practices. I wouldn't be surprised to see that day come and go again this season or this week. But yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, I would imagine the guys will be out there practicing and ready to go for Friday and Saturday. But yeah, the practice schedule here lately, just with the grind in the game schedule, has been a little lighter.
Do the players get any free time to just skate on their own? Like, hey, I just want to go down to the Town Toyota Center, strap on the skates, and just zip around a little bit just to keep my muscles loose without having to organize practice, or is it pretty much organized practice?
You know, we have time set aside during the days just in case the team wants to practice. You get into the routine of you know, we have Sunday off, so there won't be practice on Monday, and maybe there will be practice on Tuesday, but that time is usually set aside. So I'm sure it's during that time it's an optional skate for the guys. But I know Don doesn't want the players to be, you know, staying out there all the time. He knows that the guys need that rest time, but you know, the guys who are truly really dedicated to it, you know, they're going to find the time and they're going to find the excuse to get out there and strap the skates on, just to stay loose and get a feel for it.
We talked about this at the start of this conversation. Beating teams in our conference, in the Western Conference, is key to climbing up into a playoff spot. Here we go. We got Tri-City we got Kamloops on Friday at 7 o'clock. Tri-City here in town Saturday at 6 o'clock. Back-to-back home games. Let's talk about the Blazers first.
Yeah, I think both games this weekend, but starting with the Blazers, you'll get a chance to see some of the best rookies in the Western Hockey League. You look at what Kamloops brings with J.P. Hurlburt. He's right up there battling Cameron Schmidt, who we saw on Sunday for Seattle for the league scoring lead, and it's his first year in the league. So Kamloops brings, I think, one of the best forward lines in the league to the game on Friday night, and Logan Edmonstone threw that 26-save shutout on us on Saturday. So Kamloops has got a good team, especially at the top end, and Kamloops is a team that they're trying to find some traction, maybe get up into that battle with Tri-City for home ice in the Western Conference right now, going to the first round of the playoffs here in a couple months.
And the Americans are the flip of Kamloops, and that Tri-City has an outstanding defensive line and good goalkeeping. They don't score a lot, but they also keep the opponent from putting the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think when you talk about rookies, I think Xavier Wendt is probably one of the dark horses for Rookie of the Year. You know, you look at J.P. Hurlburt in the scoring lead, but Xavier Wendt has done such a great job of keeping his team in close games, and he's won some close games for this Tri-City team. So I think for them it starts with the goaltending, it starts with the defense, like you said, and they've got a goaltender back there that can win some games for them, and he might be the other guy in the battle right now for that Rookie of the Year honor at the end of the season.
And again, it's Friday and Saturday, so you don't have to worry about missing the Seahawk game on Sunday. Promotions with Kamloops Friday at 7 o'clock. What's happening?
Yeah, so Friday, most of the promotions are happening on Saturday, but Friday's our Olympic going for the gold night. So we've got some of the youth sports teams in the building that weren't able to make it to the game this past Sunday, and I think there are even a couple of teams that came to the game on Sunday and wanted to be part of this one as well. So some of those youth teams around the valley, we'll have them back in the building again on Friday night, and we'll be wearing those special jerseys that we'll be auctioning off after the game on Saturday.
And, of course, Olympics is a registered trademark of the International Olympic Committee, all rights reserved. And then Saturday, we're going to have a party. It's going to be a pretty expected good crowd Saturday night.
Saturday is one of our biggest games every single year. It's Guns and Hoses night, so the doors open at 3:30 for that one. The cops and firefighters from around the valley take the ice at 4 o'clock. And it's always an entertaining game. The crowd was fantastic last year. I think we had over 1,000 in the building last year for the cops and firefighters. Last year, I remember walking around the building about 3:15 or so. The door hadn't opened up yet, and there was literally a line all the way to the back of the Weinstein rink for people waiting to get into the game to see the police and the firefighters play at 4. So it'll be a great crowd on Saturday. Our game starts at 6. We'll give away the youth jerseys as we always do to the first 1,000, and we'll do the auction during and after the game. We'll have 6 live auctions after the game. Everything else is a blind bid silent auction at the guest services table. Great jerseys this year. I've gotten a look at them so far, and they're going to be worth putting a bid in on. So 6 o'clock game time on Saturday. Get your tickets now. This game is sold out before. I wouldn't be surprised to do it again.
Yep. It's a lot of fun to watch the cops and the firefighters skate and play. It's just fun.
It really is.
It's fun. It's kind of goofy. It really is. And it's usually, the final score is usually something like 18-13.
Yeah.
That's generally what it is. Austin, it's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Go Wild. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Sounds good.
You know it. We're going to take a break and come back with your forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
It's time for BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 16, with your host, Mike Mitchell.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Live channel.
Nice view from Billy Goat. Not a bad morning. It sure would be nice to see that big yellow thing that's the middle of the universe, that all the planets, what's it called? Oh, there's a little bit of sun. That's high up Billy Goat Way. That's the Columbia River down there. Austin, you're familiar with that stretch of roadway because you guys take that highway right on up to Penticton and other places in British Columbia for Wenatchee Wild Hockey. From the National Weather Service, hoping for some sun breaks today. As you can see, the upper part of our viewing area already has some. at least up above anyway. Probably sock down clouds down below. 37 for a high today, 25 for the overnight low tonight. Strong high pressure continues. The air stagnation advisory is supposed to expire at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We will wait and see. This is one of the biggest, strongest ridges of high pressure we have seen around here in quite some time, which is why we've had the temperatures not very different between the high and the low, and that pattern continues into the weekend. Have a good and safe Tuesday. Start your Wednesday with us tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.